Hey, look out, y'all. You know, we get to the I won't say the best part, but the best part of our segment. You know, I love talking about football, and it's always a blessing when I get one of my football brothers on the show, my NFL football brother that's on the show. We talk football, we talk sports, man, because who knows it better than somebody that played in the NFL and played at the highest level. Listen, ain't got a Super Bowl. There's some guys that played 16 years in the league and don't even have a Super Bowl. He got your Super Bowl in your third year, second year? First year. He got Super Bowl in his first year. So I just want to introduce y'all to Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl champ, Anthony Mitchell.
How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing out there? I gotta bless you with the ring, man.
Yeah.
You can't introduce a Super Bowl champion. He leave the ring at home.
Yeah, exactly.
You thought I ain't even read your text.
Yeah.
I read your text. Now you'd have said Anthony Mitchell Ravens. I would left the ring at home.
Nah. You gotta do it the right way.
You introduce your boy right, so I got
ring, man. Look at that.
For you. Yeah,
so that's cool, man. Well, Big Ant, we glad to have you on.
Man, I'm glad to be here, man.
Thank you for always being here, man. We just trained about 10 or 12.
Yeah, man. We
getting ready.
We had a good group, and they did good.
They did good. They did
good.
They did, man.
You know, when we compare numbers to the outside of who they run into and who they came to, I think we stand amongst the best of them.
Yeah, we do. You're right. You're right, man.
This what I compare numbers. I look up facts.
Facts. Yeah, there you go. Hey, he about the facts now.
Hey, I ain't gonna speak. You don't argue with me because I got a trump card. I'm just waiting for you to shut up.
Yeah. You know, and Anthony is a world-renowned speed coach. Yes. Everybody comes from around the world to train with Anthony Mitchell. And me and Anthony, we do when I'm talking about we're gonna do some speed camps together. And listen, when I say the best of the best, that's why I call Anthony to get these NFL prospects right. Because I know he been there. You see what I'm saying? Right. And you don't just get anybody for this. This is a big task, man. But we're talking about in our segment, man, bigger's not always better. Now with you, man, coming from a small HBCU, I know back at Tuskegee, right? Tuskegee, man. Back there, everybody know about you at Tuskegee. You probably you could be run for president.
Man, I wish,
College president and probably get it. You know what I mean? But explain your process, because we're talking about trusting the process. Now, some of these kids, they always look to the Power 5 schools and getting the big offers and stuff like that, but they overlook the HBCUs, man.
My process was a little different, though.
Right.
I went to school to major in architecture.
Right, yo.
I went to school to play quarterback.
Right.
So Tuskegee was one of the schools that offered the best of both worlds for me.
Right, I hear you.
And my thing is, when you talk about the process, you got to fall in love with it. See, even though I went to school to be an architect, I never wasted my time. Right. So if I'm going to be somewhere, and I tell somebody all the time, where else you gonna be? Your parents got you here for a reason. So you're not gonna. So put 110% in at everything you do, and let the chips fall where it's made. Yeah, like they say, what you want to see God laugh. Tell them your plans.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
So my plan was to be an architect, but his was something different. And so, in that regards, I just gave 110%.
Yeah, amen.
And everything else fell in place. And then I had 5 pro days.
Damn,
5 pro days in 1 week.
Wow.
At least 1 week.
How did you recover?
I didn't. I had you train for it. See, I'm a runner. I might get up tomorrow morning and run 3 miles. I'm a runner. So what I would do, I was properly training.
Right.
And I had small pro day at Tuskegee. Then I came to Atlanta. I did Morris Brown Pro Day. Right. Then I went to Auburn, did Auburn Pro Day. Then I came back to Atlanta, did Clark Atlanta Pro Day. Right. Then I went to Alabama State and did a Pro Day. Right. I was so tired. This is a true story. I was so tired. On a Friday, was it Friday? New England came.
Wow.
New England, the only team came. So I did the work again. Mm-hmm. He said, I want to see you to bench. I'm looking like, bench. I did 5 pro days.
Yeah.
So he took me in, and I'm in there. I'm in Morris Brown.
Right.
They wanted to see me at Morris Brown because this is my home.
Right.
I promise y'all, I grabbed that 225. I pushed it 2 times. I said, hey, man, if you don't like what I did all week, then you ain't gonna like it. I was tired.
Yeah.
I was tired. But
Yeah,
you fell in love with the process.
yeah.
You know,
exactly.
for people to keep want you to come train, somebody got to like you.
Somebody got to like you. Yeah,
All you need is one team.
that's it. And you got to maximize the moment.
Yes, I did 5. I did 5 pro days in 1 week.
See, but you got to understand, he wasn't even on the radar. He wasn't on nobody's radar, but how did you get on the radar? What did you?
5 pro days in 1 week.
No. Hey, so this is how I had
He ran.
I had an agent.
Mm-hmm.
I did pretty good, but it was teams coming to Tuskegee to look at me. So an agent called me.
Right.
And he said, it was about 4 or 5 of us. I said, well, my friends come. He wanted us to come down to the Senior Bowl.
Right.
You got to think Tuskegee Senior Bowl Mobile. It's about 2.5 hour ride.
Right. Yeah.
So we all jumped in the car. I said, look, can you get us all passes? And he said, yeah, I get us all passes. So I shot home to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. I made me a bio.
Wow.
I made me a bio, and I had it in a manila envelope.
Right.
So when he gave me my pass, to where I could get in contact with the schools, I was gone. I don't think the agent seen me no more that night.
Dang.
And I was going up to if you had on a hat, I think I passed out my bio to Atlanta Falcons 5 times.
Wow.
You already gave me one. I said, but I don't see it in your hand, huh? Take another one. I don't see it. So I was out, and this is what kids don't understand. They always waiting for somebody else to do for them. You got to take the initiatives for yourself sometimes.
That's right.
Everybody want, ain't no teams looking at me. Then why you ain't calling teams to look at you?
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody trusting you if you don't trust in yourself.
That's right.
So if you reach out in the team and you talk with confidence, and they might show up.
Yeah. Wow.
You said waiting for somebody else to speak for you never worked.
It never worked, right?
That's part of my process of just getting myself on the radar.
That's good. And another way how you got on the radar, you ran the 4.3 and the 40.
Yeah, I ran 4.36. The linebacker.
4.36.
Yeah.
4.36. Now that'll raise some eyebrows.
I had a crazy pro day.
Yeah. So that gonna get a lot of people to want to come. Hey man, come work out over here. They just want to see that again.
Yeah.
6.
41-inch vert.
41-inch vert.
Yeah.
Wow.
Freaking nature.
My broad jump was almost 11. Like 11 and 40. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. So you got it when you come from a small school, you got to put in an extra effort. You know, it was crazy. I'm gonna tell y'all this one story. So I'm down at the Auburn Pro Day. I get out, my trainer there, so I line up. As soon as I take off, pow, Raiders up. He rolled.
But you didn't.
I did. Set up again. Up. He rolled. He brought me back 5 times. It got so bad to where my trainer said, "Hey, you're not rolling. Just keep running. Ignore him. Block him out." So I got down, got up, took off. At the end of that pro day, the Raiders scout came up to me and said, "You thought I was going to let them see you run this 40?" He said, "We love speed in Oakland, and with the Raiders." And he took me and a D lineman from Auburn in the bathroom, did our wingspan, took pictures. He said, "Yeah, I got to show everybody your size and everything." I was like,
"Dang, man."
He didn't.
How fast you were.
So I'm telling this story because you got a lot of guys that doing their pro day that's under the radar.
Yes.
That know they can run.
Yes.
And you might hear them like one of our DBs this year, the DB, he went 4.35, 4.35, 4.38, and then one guy had him at a 4.51.
Wow.
Might be hiding.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So he putting down a 4.51 because he might want him for himself. So sometimes those times ain't a bad thing.
Right. Okay. Wow. That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, man, that's good stuff. You made it and played 8 years in the NFL. Yeah. First year with the Ravens, won a Super Bowl, played with Ray Lewis and all the guys and stuff. I think we played y'all in the preseason. I was with the Eagles during that time. I remember playing y'all in the preseason game. But yeah, man, y'all.
I think we didn't though, because I think that's the year. And people don't understand. That's why people can't tell me about coaching when you got star players on your team. I remember we were supposed to play y'all. It might not have been a year.
That was in 01. They canceled the game.
I'm going to tell you why they canceled it.
Because of the turf.
The turf.
The turf was messed up.
We was sitting, and Ray Lewis and Rod Woodson, 2 Hall of Famers, they was walking and they was kicking. They said, "Everybody go inside."
Yeah.
Coaches didn't call the game.
Yeah.
He said, "Everybody go inside."
Yeah.
We were sitting there. They start ordering stuff from concession stand. Had the people. They said, "Coach, walk in. What y'all doing?" Ray Lewis and Rob Wilson said, "Our guys, we ain't playing on that." So go tell them the game canceled.
Are you? For real?
I'm dead serious. I'm saying this on where people could see it.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
And they said, "Coach, we not playing on that.
I remember that game they canceled.
they
We had that
canceled it.
next turf. It was the beginning of field turfs in 2001. I was with the Eagles. We finna
Yeah.
play them. They canceled
They
it
canceled it.
because he didn't have the road. It was slippery. They didn't know where to wear.
The scenes was coming up.
Yeah.
So they were like, nah, we ain't playing.
Wear regular turf shoes or cleats on it. He was slipping and falling. It was crazy. So yeah, they canceled that game. I remember that.
Get injured, too.
Yeah, and also you know, as you with the Ravens and played with the Ravens, now your son.
Yes.
Now, what was your son, Keaton Mitchell? You know, is labeled as the fastest man in college football coming out of East Carolina.
Yeah.
But tell us the story because your son wasn't the biggest.
He wasn't.
You know what I mean? But tell us the recruiting process of your son and things like that.
So-
How did it work?
So I always was big on go where you love.
Yes.
Go where
Yes.
you love.
Amen.
And so he go down to, I tell everybody, and this people you could tell, we go down to Mercer Camp.
Mhm.
Mercer Camp is June 1st through the 3rd this year. So
Yeah.
if you're an unknown athlete, please sign up for the Mercer Camp,
Yes.
especially if you were a total athlete, because they're getting you ready for it.
Yes.
It's a one-stop shop. It's going to be about 20-something team. So he go down to Mercer Camp. Freshman year, he run a 4.36. Sophomore year, he go 4.31.
This isn't
Harbaugh, high school, not college. Harbaugh, head coach for the Michigan, he get my number.
Right.
My son, junior year, he has 51 touchdowns. They invite us up.
Right.
And this I'm just telling y'all about the love and what kids need to. So we go up to Michigan. I fly us up, get us a hotel room. We go into Michigan. And they go in there and say, hey, you're the safety, new safety. We trying to. Me and my son look at each other like, nah, I play running back. It was a turnoff for me
Mm-hmm.
and he. So we go to the running back coach. We sit down. He gives all the accolades. You got to run a 10, 11 something and 100. You got to run a 4.6 and a 40. You got to jump 34 inches. Well, all my son exceeds all that. You got to be between 5'6", 5'8" to 6'2". Okay. My son look at me and say, I might get an offer. Because the year he had,
Right.
we go into the Harbaugh office and they was like, so how your season turn out?
Yeah.
He just had 51 touchdowns.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so he was like,
Free game here, guys.
and so we leave Michigan. He ain't even try on a uniform.
Mhm.
They ain't even, kids. That's the
Yeah.
biggest highlight of a visit.
Yeah, you got to throw on
Joe posted, so he didn't even get a chance to turn on you. We go home. He said, Dad, I'm good with Michigan.
Mhm.
East Carolina
Mm-hmm.
invite us up.
Right.
Like official. That was unofficial with Michigan. Official visit with East Carolina. We go in there. They say, hey, if y'all need anything from the concession stand, just let us know.
Right.
So we go, the game start, everybody on the tour together.
Right.
We go in there. Keith look at me and say, Dad, let's go to the concession. I said, nah, he gave me the number.
Right.
I'm trying. Okay, we're going to see.
Yeah.
Man, I called the dude and said, yeah, Keith want this. Is it a faster way we get it? They come up with it like on a platter. They come up with it like on a platter.
Yeah.
They hand us. So you got to think there's 100 other some scouts,
Yeah.
groups there.
Who's there? Yeah.
And they looking like, who is this dude? Because he ain't the biggest in the stands.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Who is this dude? So halftime hit. They come get just me and Keaton.
Mm.
They take y'all son go to East Carolina too.
Right.
Y'all eat the waffles there yet?
Yes.
Y'all went to
Yes.
the waffle.
Oh, yeah.
So they put every single waffle they make
Uh-huh.
in the weight room on where they make their shakes at.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So they said, Keaton, that's all for you. We looking at each other. So they laid out the red carpet.
That's right.
That's awesome.
right.
The next morning we go visit with the head coach, Mike
Houston. Yeah.
Houston. And they said, Keaton was like, he said, you think about signing? Keaton's like, nah, I got 2 other visits with Nebraska and West Virginia.
Mhm.
He said, okay. He said, but let me tell you something. Look at the board. Keaton's name is at the top. He said, you are number 1 recruit.
Wow.
He said, now when you go to Nebraska and you go to Virginia, ask them, are you their number 1 recruit?
That's it.
And when we got in the car, I said, Keaton, I ain't taking you nowhere else.
Wow.
And I ain't taking him nowhere else.
Wow. Ain't that
The
something?
rest of his visits, he went with his friends from school or he wrote.
Yeah.
I was so, because we were sitting in stands the way they ran the offense. I said, Keith, you might could come in and put up some high school numbers.
Yeah.
I said, your goal is to get to the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to tie your goals into the school you going to.
That's it.
And that's the downfall of this portal. Everybody chasing names
Mm-hmm.
and they getting this overrated sense of who they are in high school.
Yeah.
You know you're not like that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're going to find out very fast and you're going to see yourself jumping from one school to another.
Hey, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, you know, and I could train 100 kids,
Mm-hmm.
but the truth, they don't want to hear.
They don't want to hear the truth.
But that's what's going to get you to where you need to be.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And
You got to.
so me
You got-
training Keaton, and I read your question is about the process for him.
Yeah.
It didn't start in high school.
That's
It started when he fell in love with football.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And that's what kids
Amen.
don't get. You just don't. He loved football,
Yeah, that's real.
and when
Yes.
when you love something, you're gonna sacrifice for it.
that's
A lot of kids don't want to sacrifice.
Oh, that's it. Wow.
A lot of
That's
kids don't
real.
want to sacrifice.
That's it.
Can I speak to real quick?
Go
You're
ahead.
talking about the sacrifice or whatever. Parents, you have to fall in love with the sacrifice too.
Oh, definitely.
Like, so behind the scenes, it may look like when you were on the beach, right? Or
Right.
you were in this city or
Right.
in this city. Let me tell you what that really is behind the scenes.
Right.
That is us structuring our vacation around the things
Yeah,
that
that's
are
right.
Our kids. What?
Yeah.
sacrificing. Chilling at the beach or whatever, but you don't see that. I'm gonna keep it real. You don't see I had to put money over here
Right.
to take care of that over there to sacrifice because we know the end goal is what our children are striving to become, right? And a lot of times that college scholarship is that big first
Mhm.
Right.
goal being achieved.
Yes, yes.
You all listen. I don't care what you need to do, and I understand sometimes stuff is tight, but if you want to make it happen, figure out how to sacrifice for the kids. The vacation from the time maybe 6th grade,
Mhm.
Right.
That's right.
definitely 8th grade, from
Definitely.
6th grade all the way until
Definitely.
they get to that goal actualized. That sacrifice of those vacations and whatever else is all wrapped around
Yes.
them to where they need to be. I have to stress that.
And to piggyback off of that, when you say the structure, like you said, it starts 6th grade because you're building a foundation.
Yes, yes.
You know what I'm saying? You're building a foundation in 6th grade. So when he get to high school,
That's right.
because it's gonna be a lot of more. It's gonna be way more temptation in high school than it is
Yes.
6, 7. So you'll know your foundation and
Yes.
how to. Because I promise you, I ain't had no Saturday.
Right. Yeah.
When they was at 6, 7, 8, I didn't have a Saturday.
Right.
I'm either at a track meet with them or I'm at a
Yeah.
football game on third every summer. It was everything. My kids, they did just like y'all. Y'all got basketball. Y'all had mine.
Yeah.
Days off.
Both of my boys, they did basketball, football, track. At one point, they were doing soccer.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it was it's the guy.
And your other son, Kobe, he's a year older than Keaton. Right. And, so he had 2 boys, you know what I mean? And he was just as good. He went to Tuskegee.
He went to Tuskegee with me, but Tuskegee didn't have the coaches, and I'm gonna say it.
Right.
There ain't nobody gonna come with my butt. So the Tuskegee didn't have the coaches to get the kids where they need at the time. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I mean, the thing with they both could play.
Yes, yeah.
Like you said, you got to fall in love with it.
You got to fall in love with it.
You got to fall in love with the sacrifice.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
That's
Trust in the process is falling in love with the sacrifice.
sacrifice.
Yes, exactly.
You got to trust the process.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't trust the process, you ain't gonna want to sacrifice for it. So you're right. It's all go hand in hand.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. And it's an investment. You know what I mean? It's an investment. I said nobody invested more than we invested, in the gyms and in our children. I'm telling you, we invested a lot in other people's children.
But the good thing about y'all, and the good thing, and I think I was blessed, even though one made it, they both made it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't pay for no college.
Amen.
So my investment in them was, hey, look, man, I ain't paying for y'all to go to school.
Right. I hear you.
Y'all already better than me when you graduate from college because I left early.
Right.
So,
Wow.
and I tell people all the time, and this is what all the kids need to know. Success is not based off what people perceive you to be. Success is based off of your goals and if you achieve them or not.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what I tell my kids. Like Kobe, he didn't go to the NFL. Could he have? Yes.
Right.
Fall in love with the process, sacrifice.
Right.
But he graduated from college. And now he
Yes,
worked.
amen.
He relocated to Cincinnati. He got a job in Cincinnati. So and it was his choice to go up there. So, but he's still successful. If you reach your goals and you set them forth, then Can't nobody tell you.
Right, exactly. Yep. No, you're right.
Can't nobody tell you. But if you trying to live out somebody else what they perceive you to be, you're never gonna be successful in their eyes. Because that you trying to live off their goals that they want you to obtain, and you know deep down inside, I can't obtain that.
Right, exactly. That's right.
But you can't tell your parents.
Right.
You can't tell your.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You got to be real to yourself. You're right. You got to be true to yourself.
You got to be true to yourself. And go ahead.
No, I was just going to kind of move to the question that a lot of kids are getting offers now, and you know, oh, it's good to get all these offers. And I tell a lot of these big guys, I'm a big guy too, and you know, I ain't trying to knock no big guy, but a lot of these kids, they offer them off of the eyeball test of how they look. They offer your potential.
Hey.
You see what I'm saying? A kid can have 30, 40 offers based off his potential, but you have to measure up to that potential.
It's reevaluation of yourself.
Right.
I had 2 colleges that came to me. They asked me about a certain kid. And they're like, "Hey, what you think about this kid?" I said, "No, I'm not your recruiting coordinator. What you think about him?"
Right.
He said, "Well, this, and that. He got the potential." I said, "That's all you need."
Right.
If you recruit kids because of potential, then you never gonna lose.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
If you, so just say you got a D lineman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he can run very well. He 6'4".
Yeah.
He got the potential to be great.
He got the potential.
And if that's all you looking at, if you ain't looking at film, be like, well, he a little soft. He got
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if this would, so this is what I'm saying when I say self reevaluate. You know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So if they say you got the potential, and you know you haven't typed into your inner beast of yourself, then you got the potential. But if you done gave it all you got, and this is it,
got you. I don't know if I'm banking on that.
Yeah.
Right, for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of kids I seen that entered into these SEC schools, and they would have probably killed a smaller school.
Yeah.
And your chat, it's about confidence too.
It's about confidence. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you can't find a way to build your confidence, then you always gonna be behind the knife.
Yes, you're right.
You know, sometimes you can't go to the bigger school. If you ain't dominated here, why you think you finna go dominate here?
Yeah, you're right. That's real talk.
You know what I'm saying? If you ain't dominated, and I tell people, quit comparing yourself around the school around you.
That's it. Wow.
You go to Dutchtown, you compare yourself to a dude at Stockbridge.
Yeah.
So what about that kid at coming out of Texas?
Yeah, that's right.
That kid that coming out of here, out of IMG. How you measure up to those?
To those outside of your, outside of your area. Yeah.
I tell kids.
Can I
go ahead.
Piggyback off of that? I also think that is part of the process too.
Right.
Of getting outside of your area, of being the king of where you are. We sacrifice a confidence, so to speak, to make sure that our kids were playing against the best.
What?
So
Yeah.
We weren't worried about our children, our athletes being the best where they lived.
That's right.
Keep in mind, that's important to them, winning your championship and everything. But you got to remember the long goal is what? College.
NFL.
We're not just comparing NFL, excuse me, that first,
For some. Yeah.
The big step is college.
Yeah, college, yeah.
You're not competing just against the people that you live around.
Right.
When the colleges are now looking at people all around the nation.
Right.
So one of the things that we did early in the process was we made sure, one, that our son actually played up. So he wasn't even the oldest one now. So he's got to be a different kind of dog.
Right.
But we also took him all around the world, nation.
Yeah, and travel teams. That was considered the best.
That are considered the best. That guess what? When they get to 2023, whatever year they're going to graduate, all those other dogs are going to be the ones that everyone is looking for too. So we made sure early that we put him in position to when it's time for the horse and pony show, or it's time to recognize who's really dogs and who is actually going to be rewarded.
Right.
He already was that.
Yeah. And when you take your kids, and I'm always going to piggyback off what you say, when you take your kids, I had a track team. And my highlight, Yeah, and my highlight was taking them down to Disney.
Right.
Like, yeah, you good around Georgia.
Yeah.
Let's go where Texas finna bring they best. Where Florida finna bring they and so you could, when you take your kids and put them amongst the best,
That's right.
you will see what type of kid you got.
Right.
Because
some going to see what type of kid they are.
Right, and some of my kids, they up for it.
Yeah.
And I seen so many kids I took to Florida when they had to run against some of the top Florida guys. They come to me, Coach, you know I'm in heat with. So?
Yeah.
You
ain't worried about that.
Okay, he run. I say, go run your fastest time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why you act like you gonna die or something?
See.
And so, but like Keaton and them, Keaton age group, they was all, and I mean they age group. I'm not just gonna say Keaton because everybody that ran on track team with Keaton, like one of them, Kareem, is a Mississippi State track coach.
Right.
Then you got Nate McCullough. He's entering the draft this year.
Yeah.
So
something was in the water.
Yeah, something that I had and then other girls but that particular group,
right?
They was always up for a challenge. No, I mean,
but that's how you gotta be, because a real competitor is like, oh, you the best. I'm gonna show you. I'm show you that I'm the best. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna be silent. Like, I don't know, man. I'm going against looking at it, because that's more like having a fan mentality than having a player, a competitor's mentality.
And what I like about Total Athlete, it's it's a mentality that you got to give a kid that you can get out of here.
Yeah,
to where so kids lose, and you're not mad,
right?
So I took that group down there. We had to do time finals in the 4x1.
Right.
They put us in the slow heat, so we got second.
Right.
And so they was my 4x1 is always my 4x4. If you can't run a 400 for me, you can't even be on my track.
Yeah. I remember that.
If you can't run a 400 for me, you can't be on my track.
I remember Lonnie hated running 400.
You can't be on so you can't be on a 4x1. You can't. So they was the 4x4, and they were like, they approached the 4x4 with an attitude.
Right. Wow.
And even a commentator said, "Well, y'all know, because they want to heat pretty big."
Exactly.
And the commentator said, "We're gonna see what these track ants got, because they was in the slow heat and almost they went out there, they approached it with an attitude. And that's what winners do. That's what champions do. And everybody don't like Michael Jordan, but he's the GOAT because of his attitude.
Attitude is everything.
They did the same thing. Didn't they give Cam Newton like a hard time for saying, "Show me a loser, and I'll show you someone that likes to lose"? And he got it because a winner doesn't like to lose. Right?
That's right.
So they got on him saying, like, "Man, you shouldn't have said that. That's not right." But winners like to win.
Mm-hmm.
But lose, you gotta be learning something from it. But winners don't like to lose.
And the part of society is this. You get a trophy, I get a trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always walking home with something.
Right.
Harrison,
right.
His kid played in the championship game.
He said, "Oh yeah."
They got in the car with their trophy. He broke it up and threw it out the window.
Yeah, exactly.
That's accepting losing.
Yeah, that's accepting losing. Yeah.
People, second place is the first loser.
That's right. That's it.
Listen, we know that this. I'm just gonna say it. This isn't for everybody.
It's not.
That's right. That's right.
Or whatever.
That's right.
For everybody.
That's right.
But you got to have some kind of mentality of understanding whatever it is, that total mindset when we're talking about the book, that I have a goal to get somewhere.
Yes, exactly.
Losing is not an option.
Yeah, that's right.
Have a goal to get somewhere, right? Like, how do you get to a goal and in your head, you're like, I'm okay if I lose. I don't see how that goes together. So to get to the goal, right?
Yeah.
You dreamed it, and now you got to put steps in motion to attain the goal.
Right.
So we understand that this might be a little bit of radical, or some people may think it's a lot, you're pushing your kids too much. But listen, we're just talking about sports right now. You need this same thing to succeed in life.
In life, yeah.
And you also got to be able to separate it.
Correct.
So one of the good things I did with both of my boys and everybody, when I left the sport, so just say they got a game.
Right.
When we left, they ain't hear about the game no more.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I done seen a lot of kids.
Yes.
Great. quit playing when they were juniors, seniors in high school. Because the parents made it feel like a job when they was young.
Yeah.
Now they got the mindset, okay, I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
I feel like I never had to do that with my kids. Like you were saying, you gotta want it, like, right?
Right.
They were self-motivated.
Right.
It was obvious that this is what they wanted to do. We didn't have to force you to go to practice. We didn't have to pick out your pads. We didn't have to do anything. Like 9 times out of 10, they ready. Like, okay, you ready to go? Oh, what we doing? You know, so
you got a lot of kids that are self-motivated.
Correct.
But you hear them parents on the sideline. And then you hear them talking to them on the way. So that self-motivation
it's too much.
The self-motivation start getting trampled on by your parents. They won't let it go.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And when you ride your kid hard, sometimes they fall out of love with it.
Exactly. And let me say this, confidence. Confidence comes from the parents. When they're young. Confidence comes from the parents. You know what I mean? So if they beat that kid up over and over for a bad play and stuff, when DJ had a bad play, listen, I didn't talk about it. He knew already. I said, we just got to do better. And we don't harp on it and stuff. You don't want that lingering in his head. You see what I'm saying? But I think confidence comes from the parents.
Yeah, it do. Because and I'm telling you, so when we first started playing football when Keith first started playing football, Keith and Kobe, Keith was fast. And so we was walking. I knew he was fast. And I'm walking by a parent. His son, a star running back of the other team. And he said, yeah, you the fastest out here. And I'm walking. Like you said, parents confident.
Right.
I was in front of him. Me and Keith was in front of him. And they was by. He said, you the fastest out here. You ain't gonna never get caught. I said, I bet you he ain't. I said, I bet you he ain't the fastest out here.
Yeah.
And he said, I bet you won't beat my son.
Yeah.
And he was like, shoot, line him up. Keenan dropped his bag. He got in the running stand. Coming up, if you said let's race, he gonna line up.
Line up. That's it.
But that's how I was. Check confidence off your kids.
Yes,
you gotta understand who they are.
You gotta understand who they are.
You gotta push them to be great.
Yeah, and you gotta build that. If you stand behind your child and you build that confidence in them, like, hey, do your thing. Daddy got your back. You know what I mean? That makes all the confidence. And when they're young, that's the foundation right there. That's all the confidence in the world.
When they believe that you believe in them, they'll run through a brick wall.
Yes, it is.
I don't care if they have the worst game. I don't care what that is. Yeah, we can do some corrective things and we can talk about it or whatever, but we're not beating you down because you had a bad game. We're building you up.
Yeah.
That this was just one bad day, but we've had a succession of multiple good days.
Multiple days, yeah.
And I say this a lot in interviews. As a man, and probably as a mama and as a daddy, there's only one person we don't mind being better than us. That's our son.
That's our kid.
That's your daughter. So when you say, hey, who would you rather? My son.
My son, exactly.
Would you rather see when you win a Super Bowl, your son win a Super Bowl? My son.
My son, that's right.
And so I don't mind. Like, you don't want me being better than you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and that's the truth.
It's the truth.
The team.
Yes.
Hey, you don't want the person that's playing the position that you play to be better than you.
Yeah. Right. But we want our children to be better than us. That's right. Because each generation is supposed to do bigger and better than the previous generation.
Say it like this, and it's not sound right. You're a sorry parent if you don't want your children to be better than you.
And guess what?
Period.
It's a lot of sorry parents out there now. There's just a lot of parents that sabotage their kids from being great.
Wow.
Hey, it's a lot of parents. I'm gonna say it again.
Yep.
You can send me hate mail if you want to. It's 1-800 North Pole. Just call.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, it's a lot of parents out there.
Wow.
Which camera you want me to look at, Mama? There's a lot of parents out there that's sabotaging their kids to be better than them.
Dang.
I never seen a jealous parent.
I never, yeah, man.
You jealous, hey, yo?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And one more thing. Your kid is not your best friend.
That's right. Wow. That's big.
What?
Yeah.
We gonna have to stop because
we're gonna come back on that.
Hey, but I'm gonna stop because I know he had certain questions. So we go. Hey, nice Total Athlete podcast. Nice for having me. Yeah, I told you I would find my energy
already, baby.
It'll be a part 2, part 4.
Yeah.
Continue however you want to put it.
Put in the comments if we need to have a part 2.
Yeah. Coming back with Big Ant. I'm telling you, man. He tell like a real. He tell the truth, and that's what it's about. You want people to tell you what you need to hear, not always what you want to hear. You know what I mean? That's the problem with a lot of people giving that false sense of reality. Then they get hit with that a dose of reality and realize it ain't what it was. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, you coming to an athlete, we're going to tell you the real deal because we want to prepare you. We want to prepare you for the real world so you're ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Guys, I just want to thank y'all for tuning in to Total Talk Podcast. Remember, like and subscribe to our channel. And thank you again, brother.
Man,
Appreciate it, man.
pleasure, Mark.
Appreciate it, man. Already, man.
I'm up here with the Johnsons.
Yeah, the John.
Hey, y'all know who she is?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
I'm hoping now you can still shoot the lights out
Hit
the
up.
film, baby.
65 in one game? 75?
63.
Hey,
He's
I lied. It
60
was
one
74.
game. Yeah. She don't like to brag on herself, but DJ, he get a lot of his athletic ability from his mom.
Hey, don't mind.
I gotta give her that. Well, it's all good. Thank y'all for tuning in, guys. We appreciate y'all, and we see y'all next time. God bless.